All right, Fletch, it's time for the Rabbitohs 2024 season preview. But before we go forwards...
we've got to go back.
We've got to go back.
We've got to go way, way back. Just a quick around the grounds. South Africa 5 for 41 in the women's cricket. Australia flogging them. Flogging them.
All right.
Ta-da, Saffers.
2023 for the Rabbitohs. A year to forget, I dare say.
Well,
so they were 8-3 at the start.
It was half a year to forget.
Yes.
The first half of the year, everyone was waxing lyrically about them. I had them as my premiership favourites at the start of the year.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, downhill from there. It was their defence, that back end. I think they were averaging like 28, 30 points the last 6 or 8 weeks of the premiership.
Following those results was the turmoil off the field. Sam Burgess gone before the end of the season. So this is a big year for Jason Demetrio.
Yeah. I tell you it's a big year for Lockie Ilias. Because South, predominantly, they love going to that left side, and why wouldn't you? You got Cody and you got Latrell. You got Alex Johnson, who's just scoring tries for fun. But I think now it's Lachlan Ilias' third year, if I'm right.
Yep.
He's now got to take, and he was predominantly on the right. Well, he does. He plays on the right there, and he's got Joel and Fletch. He did have Campbell Graham there, but he's not going to be there for a little while. But I don't know whether Jack Whiten will play right centre. He's a left side player. They might move Tass over there. But Lachlan Ilias has to take control. And it is very hard for a young halfback to overcall experienced players like a Latrell or like a Cody Walker. But at the moment, they're very easy to read.
Yeah.
They're very easy to read because they're all coming down the left-hand side.
So Latrell played 16 matches.
Yep.
For a marquee player, is that enough? There was a solid mix of both injury and suspension, a couple of brain explosions towards the back end of the year. Of course, there was the incident with the country music concert. You know, it was a turbulent season for Latrell. Started off brilliantly again, like the Rabbitohs as a whole, and seriously faded towards the end.
It did, and he has to play. For South to do, and we know what happened when in the 2022 when he got suspended, missed the grand final.
Yeah, it was Blake Taff.
Yeah. Latrell, and that's like every team. They need their best players. He is more than just their best player. He's probably one of the best players in the competition. So, yeah, Latrell needs to play over 20 games.
Gains and losses. So they've gained Jack Whiten and Sean Kepi, bit of depth for their front row stocks. A lot of losses, though. Hame Sele, Blake Taff, Jed Cartwright, Terrell, Carlo. 3 of those signings are losses. Sele, Taff and Cartwright all played a pivotal role in season 2023. The question marks over the squad, if we just run through the squad quickly, Latrell at fullback, obviously. Plethora of outside backs. Johnson, Tass, Munro, Milne, Campbell Graham, Whiten, Isaac Thompson, heap of outside backs. 5'8", Cody Walker's got that locked down. Halfback is interesting. So young Dean Hawkins led South Sydney to a premiership in the New South Wales Cup, and then they won the State Cup as well. So he's putting a little bit of pressure on Lachlan Ilias.
He's had a few cracks, young Dean Hawkins. I still think Lachlan Ilias is the first choice halfback.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he's got it in his game. We've seen snippets in games when he's taken the line on, like he can kick. His best asset is his defence, which is in first grade. You've got to get your defence right. You see so many young halves come in and they're flashy. They love getting the ball when they're on the attack. It's when they get on the defence that you can see they get found out a little bit. So I can see why Jason Demetrio is persevering with Lachlan Ilias, because in defence he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But you need to have another string to your bow, and which he's got. But I don't know whether it's a confidence thing with him. I don't know whether he thinks, I'm only a kid. I don't want to step on any toes. But this is the year where he needs to stand up and make this team his own.
Pretty stacked again in the forwards. Cam Murray, Jai Arrow, Kaloa Matangi. Young Tallis Duncan is an up-and-comer, one to watch this year.
Yep. Stole
him from the Roosters, which you rarely see players going that way. Tom Burgess, Totola, Moali, Kepi, Shaq Mitchell, Sailuka Fafita, and then, of course, in the hooking row, we've got Damien Cook with depth of Peter Mamazoulis.
Yeah, well, we talk about, this is another rugby leagueism, the premiership window. You would think that they're all getting a little bit older. Cody's, in his 30s. Cookie's been around a little while. Is this a window that's going to be closing very, very shortly?
Could be.
What do you think of their chances this year? Because I don't have them in my 8. And
You don't?
No. It's not because it's just the fact that I think there's the teams who have got more upside.
Okay, yeah. Look, I just think with the spine, including Mitchell, Walker, and Cook, anything other than a top 8 finish would be a disaster for South Sydney. If Jason Demetriou was to miss 2 straight final series, he'd be in big trouble.
You thinking Wayne Bennett, Sam Burgess combo?
Oof.
Like Bennett no names?
I don't hate it.
One's the schnitzel, one's the penne.
Well, I don't hate it. This is an interesting story that's coming out. So Campbell Graham is out for 6 months. Now, he had that sternum injury right through the back half of last year and was struggling the whole way through. I'm very surprised that this wasn't dealt with then. I know sternum issues, you can play with them, you can needle them up, you can overcome the pain, but surprising that they didn't. Now he has to have surgery. It's surprising they didn't do that at the back end of last year and just.
Well, I think, and I've never really heard of anyone getting surgery on their sternum.
Yeah,
they're very hard to heal because there's no blood flow there. You feel your chest now, listener. If you're out there, and I'm saying your own chest, don't feel anyone else's in your car or at home or on the train. There's not much tissue there or muscle, so there's not much protection there. So the blood flow doesn't really get to it.
What would the surgery be?
I don't know. Maybe a plate, probably. Putting a plate across there, and they are so painful. They are ridiculously painful. You can needle them, but it doesn't do much for it. And you could see, and because Campbell Graham, I remember when Billy Smith played, the Chooks played him, and he was marking Billy Smith, and Billy Smith was just fending him off, that's not how Campbell Graham defends. So I think they probably thought, right, we'll give him a rest. We'll give him those 3 or 4 months off. Hopefully it will repair, but obviously it hasn't. So if he's out for 6 months, I can't see him playing this year.
It's a huge loss. It's a huge loss. And then to compound that, Jack Whiten is out for the start of the season, suspended. Cody Walker looks like he's going to miss Vegas potentially. And young Tyrone Munro is also out with injury. So
calf. Is it a calf for Cody Walker? I think it is.
Yeah, I think Cody Walker's a calf. I think Munro was a collarbone.
A calf injury. That's the old man. That's the old man injury.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know it's. I had them winning the comp. They were my premiership favourites last year, and to say in 12 months they've gone downhill. It's tough for the Bunnies, but I'm sure if they get this side that you just read out on the field and they stay healthy, of course they can finish top 4.
So if you had to lock down a position, are you giving bands or are you giving a?
I've just got other teams in there. I've got Manly jumping them.
Yeah.
And I've got the Cowboys in them.
So you say like a 9th to 12th?
Yeah.